This is the beginning. It starts right.
I am over here in the Farm to Consume showcase. Now, Unilever has 400 brands, including Dove, Lipton, Ben & Jerry's, Klondike, and Magnum ice cream. A staggering 3.4 billion people use Unilever products across 191 countries. And I'm thrilled to have Aaron from Unilever joining me here today to show how Unilever is working with SAP to address the growing demands for sustainable vanilla ice cream. Now, I have to say, Aaron, I love starting my day with delicious ice cream. So I'm hoping you can explain the challenge with vanilla ice cream while I enjoy this delicious dairy-free ice cream.
Yeah, thanks, Julia, and thanks for having me here. It's great to be in Florida. Delivering ice cream to the world is a real privilege, and I'm sure that everyone here has their own ice cream story which puts a smile on their face. Our philosophy at Unilever is that happy people and a happy planet wins smiles. And although that might seem trivial, the world definitely needs more smiles and joy right now. As for vanilla, it's a fascinating and essential ingredient. It's known as the queen of spices, and it actually comes from a very rare edible orchid and takes an amazing 4 years to grow. Dairy-free is also growing, particularly in response to veganism. And actually tracking consumer trends like dairy-free are an essential part of building a world-class, agile, responsive supply chain.
And particularly, right, when it comes to looking at supply chain adjustments, having early signals on consumer trends can have huge business implications. SAP Customer Data Platform, or CDP, provides the insights to hit those trends versus miss them. So let's have a look here. Now, since I'm your customer today, Aaron, you see I have a unified profile in the CDP, and we have all the information about my interactions online, social media, in-store, just like my ice cream purchase right now or that espresso I ordered this morning.
Exactly, and with SAP CDP, data privacy preferences are always tracked and respected. Right. We actually have over 130 million consented profiles with SAP.
That's amazing. Now let's look at the overall ice cream trends. Now here we see that dairy-free vanilla isn't just my preference. Actually, analyzing millions of user interactions on the CDP, we're able to gain insights into current demand, predict future trends, and enhance forecasting accuracy. Now, Aaron, we have certainly all lived through tremendous supply chain disruptions in recent years. And seeing that high demand for sustainable vanilla ice cream, how do you manage the risk on such a critical ingredient?
Well, Madagascar supplies about 80% of the world's vanilla, and we work there with farmers to grow the highest quality, sustainable vanilla, exactly what you need for high quality, sustainably sourced ice cream. But to reduce the risk, we build long-term partnerships, we invest in the education, healthcare, and even financial awareness of those farmers, and there's 3,000 of them, so it's pretty colossal. We also keep vanilla at least 2 distributors, and we carefully forecast demand, and of course build inventory ahead of the busy ice cream season. However, despite that, we always plan to expect the unexpected, and this is where supply chain planning solutions really help.
Indeed, right? And here in SAP Integrated Business Planning, we're bringing together customer sentiment from the CDP with real-time inventory levels from S/4HANA Cloud and weather forecasts. And this provides the ability to predict, plan, and drive goods through the supply chain more sustainably and more profitably. Now, I see here, actually, there is an alert, and unfortunately, our demand exceeds the planned supply and our supplier is unable to deliver. So we need to find a new plan. So what would be the next step to mitigate a situation like this, Aaron?
So we would most likely pivot, first of all, to one of those alternate distribution points while also conducting an analysis of our worldwide inventory, demand, and building some what-if scenarios.
Great. Well, now I see we have a couple of those options you said. And first, we could, of course, stock transfer. But since there's a shortage broadly, it'll impact all of our production facilities. So instead, we're going to go with option 2, which is to reach out through the SAP Business Network and find a substitute supplier. Now, Aaron, when you need to find a new supplier, how do you make sure you're selecting someone that meets that very high sustainability requirement you guys have?
Well, globally, we have about 50,000 partners in our network. We use Ariba to help to manage those partners, and that would include the vanilla suppliers and distributors. And as making sustainable living commonplace is our company philosophy, We actually evaluate supply partners against factors like sustainable farming practices, fair wages, and socially responsible work practices.
Wow, I'm sure keeping up with 50,000 suppliers is a challenge. But fortunately, we also can use embedded AI to provide new supplier recommendations for exactly your situation. So taking into account things like onboarding and even looking at completely new suppliers. So let's compare potential suppliers to overcome our vanilla shortage.
Yeah, I can see here that there are 3 supplier recommendations which fit our requirements.
And thanks to the integration across SAP Ariba, SAP Business Network, and S/4HANA Cloud, we can see a full view of the supplier's performance metrics, including cost, reliability, sustainability, making an informed decision not only on supply chain fit, but also on carbon impact.
This is great, Julia. And by leveraging technology, we can minimize disruptions in our supply chain, we can proactively plan for uncertainty, and we can build resilience in our operation, which of course means more smiles for everyone.
And we all need more smiles. Thank you so much for joining me, Aaron.